Hello, John Dilworth here. Inspiration for Howl comes from wanting to make art, make animation, the thing I love the most. And I guess I looked for inspiration from patience, through patience. We talked about how we started to relearn how to write. And so I was very conscious of looking for a plot, things that happen. It seems like people are interested in things that happen to other people. And from what I understand, this is ancient. This is like way back in time. I believe it was something useful. When we didn't have YouTube, we would find out things about the world and each other, by stories. So plots, and I think there are like 36 different plots. I don't know. This is what the research is out there. I'm sure you can even maybe create your own. Who knows? But for me, the genres would be romance, horror, and comedy. Those three. And you can mix the plots all you want and the details. And then real life stuff that happens to you in your own life. People that you meet that influence you one way or the other. So that would be sources of inspiration. Of course, literature, media, whatever is fueling you. It could be even profound people like philosophers. Alan Watts, for instance, he's pretty far out there. And Terence McKenna, they're out there. They're beautiful minds, inspiration. The storyboard stage is just one stage we're going to cover. And I know it's getting tedious because, well, it may not be tedious because this is the way it is. We're at scene 43 and we're just at a kind of one spot where the story is going to turn. We're getting there. And this is another thing I learned. We got to have something that happens in this story that turns it in another direction. And therefore, you're more engaged, right? Well, I'm doing Howl, and I'm doing something else for a children's book illustrator. I'm helping her out with taking her character, a little mouse. It's called the Jazz Mouse. I'm helping her out, and we're doing that. But Before Courage is developing really nicely. Next week, we expect to hear from the executives if we'll be going to Storyboard. And ordinarily, I cannot really speak about this because the network is rather preferential about how they release information. And then we never know what's going to happen, of course. So let's just keep this between you and I. I'll update you as I can regularly in context of other work I am doing, because that's a little bit of a loophole. I can do that if it's connected to some other things I'm doing, and which I am doing. So, to create energy for something we feel strongly about, I guess we have to find what it is that attracts us. And for me, my whole life has been an escape into cartoons. And it hasn't failed me. Of course it's failed me. We make things with the best of intentions and they don't come out the way we want. But what are we going to do? We have to get through that somehow. Learn from it, I guess. That's all there is. What are we going to say? What can't be said? And energy, this is a big thing, to create our own energy. To act out of a good energy. That is amazing. And of course have fun, because what else is there? And a Howl is not a pilot. It's an art. I'm just making art. It'll probably go the same route. Who knows? It'll go where it goes. I don't know. Who knows? My intention is just to make art and perhaps return to the festival life that I loved, that I love. traveling the world, meeting filmmakers, and sharing ideas and looking at other animation. And it's really just, it's a lovely thing. It's not commerce, of course. It's not commerce. It's art. But we have to make a living, right? So let's be practical. We have to combine our art with commerce, which I think I've tried to do. I don't do it really, really well. There are other artists that do it amazing well. And but we're each individuals ticking on our own kind of clock, right? Who knows what makes us work anyway? Right? Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, and then there's this issue about my films being removed from YouTube. That is because I have an international distributor who has taken 6 of my films. And, of course, they cannot appear on YouTube. And Dirty Birdie, sadly, is one of them. Mouse-a-Kiss, The Noodles and Ned, Catch of the Day. Some of these classic ones of mine, they're all being distributed now. And that's that. So if you miss them, oi, 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 you can always buy a DVD. Now, whoever gave me that Bob Ross comment, I love Bob Ross. When I was a kid, I didn't paint. I don't know how to paint really well like this kid, but it was just a joy to see him work, because he had that, really, so you just do this and put a little paint here, and it was great. It was great. It was exactly the kind of thing I could listen to. I'm not sure, what am I going to do with this woman here? So Jane is in this cage, and they're bones. These bones are symbolic. Women who run with wolves is the text written by a PhD. Her name is Estes. And a fascinating, fascinating chapter on women and La Loba. What's it called? La luz de la vida. La vez mitológica. It's amazing, amazing stuff. So much out there. I love mythology. I love it. And I try to use it. As you know, Encourage is loaded with mythology. Loaded. And so it's the end of the week. And I'm just going to continue posting these little storyboard sessions until we get through the storyboard. And then after that, we're going to go through the animatic stage. We'll have to do that. And then whatever else I need to do to earn $1. And, of course, our dear puppy needs all my love. It's a very crucial time, so I have to spend a lot of time there. Okay, so stay animated.